this article and the overall topic of the most pirated anime in 2022 has been circulating in the anime and manga community for the past few days now, and I felt like I wanted to kind of take a crack at it, discuss it, because it's a very interesting and important topic to really kind of see how these series are doing, how popular these series are, what people are going out of their way to kind of pirate, and if there is potentially a service problem. There's a lot of ways to consider this overall information, and so let's dive headfirst into this and let's discuss this. So, Variety report, Chainsaw Man Bleach among 2022's most pirated series in the United States. A special report and piracy research firm Muso revealed that Chainsaw Man and Bleach are among 2022's most pirated series in the United States, with Chainsaw Man taking second place and Bleach ranking 6th. In fact, anime titles make up 50% of the most pirated series in the United States last year. The top 10 most pirated titles and their respective share of piracy demands are as follows: House of the Dragon Season 1, Chainsaw Man, Running Man, Rick and Morty, Moon Knight, Bleach, The Eminence in Shadow, The Lord of the Rings of Power, Spy Family, and The Rising of the Shield Hero. This is a very fascinating top 10, and to make sure I clarify, I know people are like, wait a minute, House of Dragon is an anime. This is counting for the most pirated series in the United States. Basically, everything that aired last year it's counting for. And the fact that Chainsaw Man is number 2 here, and it beat Rick and Morty, Moon Knight, Lord of the Rings, says a lot. And I know people are going to want to meme on Rick and Morty, people are going to want to meme on Moon Knight, people are going to want to meme maybe on Lord of the Rings. Regardless of how you feel about these represented series or anything that's in this list, they're very popular. All these individual series are popular and have quite the sizable fan base. Let's not argue and let's not, act like there isn't. Because it's clear as day for there to be this many, pirates. Clearly there's a want to watch these shows. And House of the Dragon being number 1, that makes sense to me. Game of Thrones is a massively popular series, and it makes sense for many people, even regardless if they hated the ending of Game of Thrones, and a lot of people, most people hate it. Most people probably went other way to check out House of Dragon, and I know I did. I checked it out. And so, I actually enjoyed House of Dragon, to clarify. I know, it's shocking, but I actually enjoyed it. But, anyways, Chainsaw Man being here at number 2 does say a lot about its popularity. Even though we know in recent times, thanks to the BD sales that came out for Chainsaw Man, the fact that Chainsaw Man only sold 1,735 copies for BD in Japan, even though that's very low, it's clear that there is a lot of people that love Chainsaw Man in the West, at least the United States. And I think that if there is one thing we're gathering from that alone, it does necessarily say that most likely Chainsaw Man is more popular in the West than it is in its actual home country, Japan. I could be wrong about that, but that's my overall assumption thanks to some of these numbers. Because when you see high piracy numbers, it's clear that a lot of people want to watch it. That's the truth. Now, one other thing is that for it to beat Rick and Morty and Moon Knight, that says a lot. Rick and Morty and Moon Knight they're popular. Everybody was talking about those. I remember everybody was talking about Moon Knight, everybody was talking about Rick and Morty, so the fact that, Chainsaw Man beat that does say a lot. However, what's really shocking to me is Eminence in the Shadow being here. Now, I love Eminence in Shadow. I've talked about it, I made videos on it, I recently made a video a few days ago on it. I love Eminence in Shadow. Great series. But the fact that it's in the top 10 kind of blows my mind a little bit. I did not realize there was that big of a fan base around it to warrant that much piracy around the show. That's kind of ridiculous to me. It legitimately is. And for it to even beat Lord of the Rings, and I know people didn't really like Lord of the Rings the way it was handled, still, the fact that it beat the Lord of the Rings says a lot. It's like, whoa, okay. And, I'm also shocked Bleach. Well, I'm not shocked Bleach is here. I'm more shocked about what this means. S1. I'm assuming that means Season 1. And I don't know if that's meaning the 1,000-Year Blood War, since it's technically part 1 of it, or if they're actually saying Bleach Season 1. Because as a reminder, for anyone that doesn't know, last year, there was a huge amount of issues with licensing for Bleach. Basically, it was up in the air who was going to get Bleach, who was going to air it, what platform it was going to be on, as a reminder. And for a while, for like a month or two, there was no legal way to watch Bleach at all. There was no legal way. And that was a massive failure on every end. The fact that no person could legally watch Bleach. It obviously led to a rise in piracy for the series. People that actually wanted to watch it before the Thousand Year Blood War began. So the fact that that happened makes a lot of sense why Bleach rose probably in piracy for last year. Makes perfect sense. That's the fault on anyone else. That's associated with the way the anime was distributed. That's the fault on them. The way it was handled was not good. That's the truth of the matter. Now, anyways, Spy Family being here and Rising of the Shield Hero also makes a lot of sense. I'm surprised My Dress Up Darling is in here, or Mob Psycho. Very popular. Both of them very popular. And also Summertime Render. I wonder where anime be. If, like, this is strictly a top 10 most pirated anime, I wonder where Summertime Render, Mob Psycho, etc. would be at in this list if we, like, didn't count live-action shows. But this is fascinating, honestly. So let's continue reading this. So according to Variety, Amuso's data measured activity across a range of piracy sites, including illegal streaming, torrent, web download, and stream-ripping platforms. Another survey commissioned by Variety, VIP Plus, from YouGov, found that 60% of respondents pirated content they knew was available on a legal streaming service. When it comes to lost revenue on streaming service, Variety reported that Netflix loses $9.1 billion a year to password sharing. Yeah, we're not trying to justify what Netflix is trying to do. They don't even dare try to justify that. They do it trying to get rid of password sharing is disgusting. Anyways, a report from Cine Media also found that 65% of individuals that share their passwords also visit pirate sites weekly. I mean, Netflix is making it restrictive. That if you want to really know, when you put, blocks and make things hurdles and you gotta jump through hoops, people are gonna go alternative ways. And the reason why a lot of people pirate anime, let's face the facts, a lot of the services aren't really good. Like, they do a really poor job. I've been very critical on some things. So because of that, it makes a lot of sense why there is an active rise in piracy. When more fans and anime becomes more mainstream, there's going to be a rise within it. It's like that famous saying, piracy is always going to be a thing, but it's mainly a service issue when it happens. And a lot of these anime did have service issues when it comes to the release. Chainsaw Man, not necessarily. It's just because it's very popular. But when it comes to Bleach, to the way Eminence and Shadow, also what platform it's on, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, very fascinating topic, honestly. I wanted to discuss this because I felt like, people would be interested knowing how Chainsaw Man is technically doing in Japan. It's clear that at least it seems to be a way more popular in the West. Now, one thing I do want to say, and kind of maybe do a video later on this, there has been a little bit of an update on the Chainsaw Man sales, that apparently Chainsaw Man sales were not counting the sales on the MAPPA's own website, so that does say a lot. Most likely the numbers are a little bit different, and they might add an extra 10,000, and it could be near the Bochi levels of sales, so that's good, but it's still kind of crazy that with how much advertisement stuff has been done around Chainsaw Man, it's not higher. But I'll talk about that more in a separate video. Anyways, getting on topic, fascinating subject. I am honestly curious to see how these companies feel about this, if they want to shake things up and help their services, or if this could be, the beginning of the end and they might try to do very crusty tactics like what Netflix is doing with its password sharing and stuff. We will see. We will see. But I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. It does help me out a lot. And with that, Chibi out.